Morning, everyone. Leslie Jones, Michelle Bedell.
How are you? Good morning, everyone. This is Monday Live, and today we're going to speak about case studies and just what's happening from the front. So I'll let Leslie speak this time first and speak about something that's happening from the front lines and a good case study.
So one of the things I thought I'd talk about are issues that pop up when selling a property and things to look at. So often what I see is people, after years of owning a home, don't remember things about their mortgage, whether they got the mortgage satisfaction, and then you get closer to the closing and we're trying to track down satisfactions. So there are certain companies that you can use to track them down, and then also you have to go into a research department to track down an open mortgage, and this would be required in order to close. The other thing sometimes you can do is sort of get a title. The title company will take an affidavit along with proof that the mortgage was a certain amount of years old, together with a credit report as an option. So that's one of the things that I see that sort of can be a stumbling block and a delay to a closing. So you want to get that handled right away, right at the onset.
Yeah, because it could really delay things if you don't have your satisfaction. People forget about those things. I see that all the time. It's even happened to myself with a car loan, so it could affect everything. I think it's really important to have all your documents in order when you're thinking of selling or and you're putting your house on the market. I think one of the things I'd like to speak about today, while the market is still robust in Westchester County, there are less people bidding on, I'm seeing less people bidding on the particular property. Although, I think if you are in a multiple bidding situation, and it's happening to me currently with 2 different properties, I think you could use different strategies to try to win a bidding war. And I think one of the things in light of what Leslie's saying, I think it's really important to have your financials in order and to have a good pre-approval from a reputable lender, as well as proof of funds, because this really helps in your presentation of your offer. And it happened to me last night where I made an offer, and this morning, even though we needed it last night, they did not have a pre-approval, even though we advised them that when you're looking at real estate, you really should have this documentation handy and updated, not 6 months old, not 3 months old, but really within a month. It's very important, especially as the rates change. It's very important to have a current pre-approval. So what else can you do to make your bid competitive? So obviously, and we don't recommend it, but very often you'll see people waiving appraisals, waiving mortgage contingencies, even inspections. We really do not, in my office, suggest that somebody waive an inspection, because you never know what you can find on an inspection. And it's important to know you're spending a lot of money, what you should be, what is in the house. In addition, many people are offering cash. And if you have cash, it's great. Most sellers would love it. They don't have to be concerned about any financing contingencies. So that's another strategy. Also, know the comps in the area. Even if you're bidding, it's important, to know what other properties in the community are selling for. And in most cases, when you're bidding on a property, you have to increase your price and way above the asking price. So while it helps to know, it almost doesn't make a difference. The other things that you could do is offer an escalation clause. And when we present an offer in a bidding situation, we'll always ask the other agent, if we're on the buy side, if their seller will accept an escalation clause. It gives the buyer a feeling that they're not just bidding in a kind of a blind situation, but that they also have some control over their offer. So those are different strategies one could use in a bidding situation. And
Yes,
Leslie,
definitely. So waiving a mortgage contingency is different than an all cash. People get that confused. So all cash would mean like strictly all cash. So if you are agreeing to that, you have to be prepared that it's going to say in the contract, it's all cash, specifically, and there's no financing permitted.
right,
So people say, oh, but I still can get financing. It's not going to change anything. It does, because it can delay the closing. All
Correct.
cash means it can be done in like pretty much 30 days, maybe even sooner, and that you have the funds ready to go. Different than getting financing, but the person who is waiving the contingency basically is stating that they're going to lose their down payment if they do not close. So we do see a lot of that, as long as you're sure that your job is secure and that you're not
Get the funds.
right, that you have
the funds ready to close.
then you should be able to do that with confidence, and make sure you're very clear with your lender that is your intention and they've cleared everything beforehand. You must be comfortable with your lender to and ask those questions ahead of time before doing any of this.
I think also when you're bidding, you should be very flexible on the closing date. We always say by mutual agreement. So this way you're not you don't feel that you're locking yourself in or the seller into a specific closing date. So you want to make yourself very flexible when you're bidding in a multiple bidding situation. And I think you really should be, if you go and do your due diligence. So you should do your due diligence about the property even before you sign a contract, obviously, and even before you do an inspection if you're going to inspect. Many people today, even though they're inspecting, they say it's for informational purposes only. I'm not sure. I mean, it means that you're basically taking it as is, and if you're going to find things wrong at the inspection, you're not going to renegotiate and ask for things to be fixed. Obviously, one can still walk away from the transaction. You haven't signed any contract, so you're still able to walk away. But by saying for informational purposes, you're making your offer stronger.
Right, I see that often. However,
Right.
informational purposes, from my perspective, still means that the systems have to be in working order.
Right.
Basically, you're expecting the AC, the plumbing, the heating, the electrical and mechanical to still be in working order, even if it says as is.
Right.
So there's different variations of as is. So
Right.
that can go across the board. That still means you have to have COs for everything, that everything's legalized. Doesn't mean you're waiving those things. So,
Right. So people you really have to, that's why it's very important for you to do your due diligence. One should make sure that if you're buying a condo or an HOA, know if there are any assessments, know the common charges or the HOA fees, know the taxes, really check everything before you sign a contract so you feel very comfortable with the purchase going forward. If you have any questions, or if you really get distressed after bidding on several properties, one last point I would suggest is to look in multiple communities, because since the inventory still is low, although it is increasing, if you expand your search into different areas, it becomes less stressful when searching for a property. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us, call us, and we'll see you on the next Instagram Live. Have a great day.
bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.